Welcome to the final webinar in this mini-series on skills. And thanks for joining us if you have the last few weeks, and if you haven't, they are available online. I'll remind you where to look for that in a second. So Amy Camp, Innovation Lead on Future Flight, you've probably heard that a few times already, most of you. If you do need any support technically, Shelley from the KTN is available. Just drop her a message in the chat. So today, I thought I'd just, again, kick off, my slides move, with reminding you the skills mini-series was initiated as part of the Closing the Skills Gap competition, which has now opened. So opened last week before, can't remember now, and it will be closing on February 1st. I realized my slides had been saying February 2nd the last couple of weeks. Technically, it's closed by the 2nd, but it's closing on the 1st. So I thought I'd just reiterate before I get told off by somebody internally. We have had the formal briefing event for the competition earlier this week on Monday. So if you weren't able to watch that, or you haven't been a part of funding before, I highly recommend that you go and watch the briefing event, which is available via the brief on IFS. It's basically our internal competitions team advising you about the whole process. So if you haven't been a part of funding before, it's a must watch, and please go and find that. So we are in week 4, as I said. So today we are going to be having some pitch sessions from some potential sort of collaboration seeking partners. Really interested and excited to give them the opportunity to speak to you guys and look for some collaboration. I'll get to those in a second, but as a reminder, you can still go back and watch week 1, 2, and 3 via our registration link on the KTN website. And we will be promoting those videos as well to anybody who's interested. So yes, that's just a reminder of where we are and where we got to. So today is all about collaborating, hence the pitch sessions. And today we also want to launch an opportunity, because I know there's a few of you that wanted to be a part of pitch and you probably aren't listening today because you weren't available. So if you are looking to collaborate or look for collaborators, we're launching one of the KTN's Meeting Mojo platforms. So we've made one specifically for skills in future flight competition. And I'm sure Shelley will be sharing those, sharing the link in the chat to register, or you'll be getting it via email. But basically, if you haven't used Meeting Mojo before, it's a platform that you put your information in, a bit about you, your organization, what you're looking to collaborate on, and you can peruse who else is also registered on the system. So it's a great way to find potential participants to work with. It's also a great way to put your information out there if you're really looking for someone to get in contact. So please register and utilize that system if you're interested in finding further collaborators. And if you're not sure, then obviously always welcome to contact me and we can see if that's the best solution for you. So that's all I'm going to be doing today, talking wise, and hopefully I haven't crashed yet so far. Sorry about for the regulars. Everyone knows I've been having some awful internet issues, but I'm going to hand over to our pitchers today. So first up, we have Lucy and Stephen from De Montfort University in Leicester. So if you're ready and listening, both of you, I think you've dialed on the same link. Feel free to reveal yourselves and share your screen. And introduce yourselves, obviously, properly.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Lucy Budd, and I'm speaking to you from the business school at De Montfort University in Leicester. And our interest in this competition is surrounding the skills gap, but also particularly focused on the management element of it. Just a little bit of background about who we are and what we do. My title is Professor of Air Transport Management, and Steve is an expert in air transport policy, focusing particularly on economics as it pertains to the air transport system. The university itself, you may be familiar with, we're a higher education provider based in Leicester. And in 2019, we launched a new MSc Air Transport Management programme, which is run out of Leicester Castle Business School, the Business and Law faculty. Now, this is a programme that we had previously launched in 2016 at Loughborough University, and we've also got extensive experience of undergraduate provision at BSc level. And the programme we deliver, the content is primarily management focused. So it is all the aspects that you would expect to see in an air transport management programme. So it's focusing on the theoretical principles of air transport economics, demand and supply, looking at issues of policy, both at a local but also, of course, an international level, looking at issues of management, regulation, issues of environmental safeguarding, airspace management, land use planning, airport and vertiport infrastructure, business models of various different airlines, navigation service providers, airports, and also increasingly to do with the future flight ecosystem. And one of the things that we really emphasize is not just the actual practical content of, what does it mean, how does it work, but also the broader skill piece that surrounds all that. So the assessment regime for the programme is intentionally designed to meet the needs of our graduates' future employers. And we've worked very closely with leading employers, both within the UK aviation system, but also overseas as well. And what they've told us is that, of course, they want graduates who have technical proficiency, but also as well graduates who are literate, who are numerate, who have the ability to critically analyse the situation and problem solve. So consequently, the assessment regime of the programme is focused about developing these core skills surrounding communication, whether that's oral or written communication, issues of presentation to a variety of different audiences, from school children through to managing directors and C-suite. Increasingly, of course, the role of digital technologies, various different platforms that graduates need to be familiar with. One of the key issues of course at the moment is how do you actually manage uncertainty, particularly when you're faced with myriad of challenges which are external to the air transport sector, which of course directly impact on it. So one of the key skills we're looking to develop with our students is critical thinking, the ability, of course, to come at problems from various different perspectives, but also as well propose real world solutions to what are quite challenging topics. We're interested in this call particularly because we are coming at this from an academic perspective. We've got extensive experience of writing and delivering air transport management programmes, both at undergraduate BSc level, but also now at taught postgraduate or PGT level. And we have an existing and established programme that's running well. And we were interested to see this call because we're aware, of course, of the exciting developments that are happening within the future flight landscape. And clearly there are going to be some skills which are going to be familiar to conventional air transport management, if we can call it that. But equally, we suspect there are going to be opportunities to develop new content, new curricula to best fit the needs of this emerging future flight ecosystem. And we are keen to explore potential opportunities to expand our curriculum offer and to actually speak to innovators, technologists, to actually better understand their needs. So what is it they are looking for in future employees, and how could we potentially enable them to actually develop those sorts of skills with the sorts of curricula that we offer. So in summary then, we're looking for industrial partners and future flight challenge innovators to work together to potentially see if we can look at ways of collaborating on future curricula and content. If you're interested in having a look at our current programme, the URL is below, and we will put our email addresses in the chat. So if you'd like to get in touch with us directly, please do. Thank you very much, Amy.
No, thank you, Lucy and Stephen. If anyone has any questions for Lucy and Stephen, please do drop them in the chat or the Q&A even. If one comes to you a little later, feel free to question and we'll send that over to them. So, and the same goes for the next two panelists as well. If there's any questions to crop up, please drop them in Q&A. We would love to give you an opportunity to talk to them directly. So we will move on to our next pitch. which is Philip Tarry. So if you may reveal yourself, Philip. Amazing.
Hello, everybody. Can you see me?
Yes, all good.
Okay, so I need to share my screen now. Hopefully you can see my slide.
Yes, fabulous.
Perfect. Am I on?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. And in fact, actually, that last presentation caused me to make some minor changes to my slide. It's just a single slide. And to quickly introduce myself then, my name is Philip Tarry. I'm Director of Halo Drones. We are a recognised assessment entity, so we're approved by the CAA to provide sub 25 kilo proofs of pilot competency, both the A2 certificate of competence and the general visual line of sight certificate. Now, I've had for a very long time an interest in future pilot competencies as we start looking to new and novel forms of aviation. And I saw this grant as an opportunity to sort of remove that chicken and egg situation where currently we stand at the point where BVLOS and heavy lift pilot training doesn't yet exist because there are not enough drones to warrant it. But I would beg the question whether what comes first, be it, is it the drones that come first that then have no pilots to fly, or do we need to get the pilots first, which would be, in my opinion, the more logical step. And so I'm interested in taking or using the grant funding to work with some partners, which is why I'm here doing this presentation, looking for partners to understand and assess what skills and competencies are required for either BVLOS or heavy lift operations. And so that would be sort of one of my first interests. The other one is also at the moment in the sub 25 kilo industry that we're currently operating within, we have the A2 and the GVC, but no other clear standards of pilot competency. So how does the industry judge the difference between someone who's just qualified with an A2 certificate of competence with very little experience and skills in comparison to someone who's been operating for several years but has only the same limited qualification? And at the moment, it's making it very difficult for larger operators looking to recruit to identify the difference between someone who's going to be good and someone who isn't. So those are the two areas in which I'm particularly interested in, and looking for partners to join us in terms of trying to identify how to set remote pilot standards, which I think will be of a benefit to the entire industry, or even in identifying the competencies required for BVLOS operations or heavy lift operations, because at the moment there's no stepping stone between flying a 250 gram drone and a 150 kilo drone, and that is presenting an issue for operators who are trying to present safety cases to the regulator to say that they've mitigated the risks. In this particular case, we're talking about the risk of pilot competency or lack of. So hopefully that makes sense. My contact email address is there at the bottom. And of course, if we're unable to submit an application, we're also interested in becoming a partner on someone else's application if they consider that our skills of being able to provide CAA approved training for the A2 and GVC certificates of competence is of use to them. Hopefully that's good enough.
That's perfect, Philip. That's great. Thank you so much. No questions in the chat box yet, so we'll move on. We've got Alan and Jeff from the EDT here to present. I think they're both there. They're fabulous. I'll hand over to you both. Fire away.
Okay. Right, just bear with me while I just share my screen. There we go. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Jeff. I work for EDT. I've got my colleague Alan here as well, and Alan will be available with both of us to answer questions if you have any at the end of the presentations. So just explain a little bit about what we're looking for in terms of pilots, etc. We're very much involved with getting young people engaged with STEM careers, and obviously in terms of aviation and future flight agenda, we think this is a really exciting area which could engage lots and lots of young people and excite lots of young people in the STEM world. So what we're really looking for is to find partners who can help us go into schools, provide role models, possibly provide site visits if you're involved in the sector, mentors, etc., and a whole range of different ways in which we can get organisations involved in the Future Flight Challenge, working with young people and engage with young people and really showing where these opportunities for their future careers may lie, etc. A little bit about our organisation. We're a national STEM education charity. We've been around for over 35 years, and every year we engage with around 40,000 young people who give experiences with employers, universities and apprenticeship providers. We run the National Industrial Cadets Programme, which is an employability pathway, and our patron is our pathway approach really is aimed at reaching as many young people, but providing a context for young people so we can meet them with their particular different needs. And we work with everything from one-day workshops, projects which are mentored, sector taster courses, right up to industry placements. And we're particularly keen, which is what's drawing us to this funding round, we're particularly keen to increase giving access to young people to growing sectors, which you guys are involved in, but also to make the link between STEM and engineering and technology and how to provide net zero innovations, which is what you guys are actually doing. And we want to make sure that the next generation actually understand those opportunities. So effectively what we're looking to do is sort of create a partnership and under the umbrella of the Industrial Cadets and the Future Flight Challenge. So a little bit about what we're planning to do. We want to create a multi-activity and multi-partner pathway with EDT, with partner employers, research establishments, apprenticeship trainers and universities. We want to get role models from the sector into schools and supporting young people on different activities to promote the Future Flight Challenge. We're considering working in specific regions where you've got clusters of industry or research which are strong, so we can show young people the opportunities which are there in the local area and make that connection to local opportunities. But also, where possible, we're looking to run virtual activities as well, so we can reach young people across the UK, but also some of the harder to reach communities. So, for instance, young people in rural communities where they may not be able to get to venues as easily as in urban areas. Where possible, we'll always look to work with disadvantaged and underrepresented groups in STEM and to provide the opportunities to theirs. So effectively what we're going to propose is a series of large group workshops and mentored projects with partners, and also some university and apprenticeship taster courses along the agenda. So if you're an organisation involved with Future Flight, we'd really like to hear from you and to speak to you about how we can get the best activities and develop the best activities and then get them into schools and get everyone engaged with young people and young people inspired about what the industry is doing. So obviously any questions, please let me know, and my email address is on there and a phone number, etc. And both myself and Alan will put our addresses again in the chat box, so you've got that to copy and paste, etc. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jeff and Alan. There are pictures for today, and what I can say is I've been pleasantly surprised by the fact that each three pictures are completely different. When they came in and Shelley reviewing them earlier this week, it's given me such excitement to see what's going to come from this competition, that already at this stage we've got such a diverse portfolio of people trying to address different issues. So thank you to all of you. I will probably follow up with each of you individually to support you a little bit further on your collaboration. I've got some contacts in mind, so I will follow up, and then hopefully you'll get some from today's session, and obviously we'll be sharing this indefinitely for the next sort of month or so, probably not indefinitely, but for the next month or so, as we've as we still talk about the competition. So I'm not going to keep anybody extensively long today if that's all we've got and we haven't had any questions come in. So I will just remind you that there are lots of different ways to ask questions. If you've got any more for the competition or me today, feel free to drop them in the chat box. But this is just a slide with some of the other contact details regarding the competition, regarding the KTN. So if you have any questions regarding your bid and how to apply, you want to be contacting support at UKRI at the top one. If you want any contacts support with your bid writing, then you want to get in contact with the KTN. They do a soft touch review for you, and they won't tell you whether or not you'll get accepted, but they'll be able to direct you if you've got any sort of gleamingly obvious errors in your approach. So do contact the KTN if you would like a soft touch support. And then obviously you've got myself, my inbox is open for support if you're not sure if things are in scope and etc. But if not, then yeah, contact those on here. I don't think we've had any questions today, and I don't want to keep anyone longer than we need. So I think that's us. Thanks very much for our 3 pictures. And as I said, we've got the Meeting Mojo set up. You'll be emailed about that today, I imagine, or if you haven't already, Shelley's usually on it. And that's an opportunity to register if you're looking to collaborate. So you might not have pitched today, you might not have wanted to have pitched, but maybe you still are looking for collaborators. Pop your details onto our Meeting Mojo, and you can basically register an interest to collaborate, and people can sort of prompt you and request your information on there. Basically, it means you don't have to broadcast your email address. I'm sure some of us do get some spam, so it saves you from that. But that is a summary of the end of our little mini series on skills. Obviously, it's now just down to you guys to get those applications in 1st of February. I'm so excited to see what we're going to get coming through, and yeah, really look forward to reading them. But if you have any questions in the meantime, you know where I am. So thanks everyone, and see you in the new year, I guess.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.